Okay. That was fast. Okay. Hey, everyone. I guess I'm streaming now. So we're getting ready to start another practice session. I'll be sending out the links here to participating group. Again, you can join these Simuls by subscribing to my stream or by deciding that you want to if you subscribe to my stream, I will send you I will get an email from you, and we'll include you in the online group. And we'll go from there. Hey Aaron, how you doing? Yeah, Aaron's in. We got a couple of high school players that may be joining us today. The group is growing bigger from S&T. So there we go. All right. Okay. Hello, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay. Made some progress today, so there's hope I may be in Rolla next Monday.
Very cool.
A little bit more progress needs to happen, but we made some headway today. So
sounds good.
How was your weekend?
Good. Not a lot of time for chess, unfortunately, but it's been good.
That's good. That's good. Well, well, appreciate you getting in on the challenges. I'm trying to set myself at least an hour each day in the morning to kind of look at those and update them.
Good deal.
Right now, I'm trying to save my comments so that I can, when people play the same position, I can just paste them over quickly.
Yeah,
way. Yeah. We'll see how it grows. So got several folks that haven't checked in online yet on that, but I'm sure they'll come around. I know it's midterm, so I'm sure a lot's going on, getting ready to shift into the final run.
Yeah, if they haven't started prepping for their tests, they'll have to do that next week. So it's a very busy time to be a student. Everybody's expecting, if you've got some professors who are a little more relaxed, then this is when they're like, all right, you need to start turning things in now so that I have enough time to grade it all. So it is a very busy time.
Sure. And I realize that may affect, as we get closer and closer here, it's going to affect people's ability to participate. So, but I'm probably looking at continuing this through the summer as well for those that want to continue it after they slip away from campus. We did that during the winter break, but leading up to the tournament, so it worked out okay. A little bit harder because we were coordinating because Rit was on the East Coast and Max was in the mountains. So, had a 3-hour time difference between them.
Wow.
But when we didn't catch Max on the slopes, we were able to get him in there.
Awesome. Looks like we've got at least one
Joel.
other person.
Yeah, it looks like Joel's popped in here. Yeah. So Ben Zhu is one of the Rockbridge High School players. He's a senior who'll be attending Yale next year. So, but hopefully he and a young lady named Shanice Watkins, who's a teammate of his, hopefully she'll be joining us too. So she's going to be going to Lincoln University, and there's hope that she can pull something together for us. Hi, Joel. So we're hoping that maybe if she can get a team going at Lincoln, we can kind of do some joint activities between the two schools. Maybe work together at the Pan Am competition as well. So we'll see. But she's going to have to start the entire thing from scratch because they have no chess club or anything on their campus.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll just see how that goes. How we doing? At least I got a few minutes till our start time. So yeah. So let's see. You found a playing partner for the World Open yet?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure I'm gonna go anymore.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on having anything to do this summer, and then in the last 2 weeks, I've had a company reach out and invite me for an interview, and
excellent.
so on Thursday I'll have the interview, and
Okay.
so they usually get back to you within a week, especially when they're this late in the game.
Right.
So by maybe the next time I talk with you, or May 2nd or something,
Yeah.
I might be able to say yes, I have time to go to the World Open, or no, I will be actively working a job over the summer.
Yeah. So. Well, that works too.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's the case, I just won't go to the World Open, and I'll just stay with tournaments that are happening in Missouri, or maybe
is it going to be a Missouri company?
Yeah, they'd be based out of Kansas City. So
Kansas City has a lot of activity right now. So there's a group there that's running weekly tournaments on the weekends and through the week. So you probably would have quite a few opportunities to get some rated games in Kansas City over the summer. So
that would be the plan. But I would prefer maybe to on one hand, you want the job, you want the work. On the other hand, it's nice to have an actual honest to God vacation. So I'm kind of conflicted on what I want.
Yeah.
But if I land the job, I don't think I'll go to the World Open. If I miss the job, then I probably will.
Okay.
And I'll spend all of June working on my chess.
Right.
The intention.
Well, I think that's great. You have that opportunity. So
yeah.
And it's good to have that interest coming now that you're getting close to your graduation point too. So, which reminds me, I still got to check that Pan Am rule book. So I will get that done.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're okay. But so all right. Ben Jus joined us from Rockbridge. And yes, we got Joel here. So good to have Joel. I think this is Joel's first one with us, probably. Since I didn't get the email added to my group before. So glad to have Joel with us. We got a few more minutes yet to see folks. Sometimes Evan is Evan and Ritter right on the edge getting in. So yeah. But I'll be playing black tonight if I've set this up the way I want to. So
yeah, that's what it looked like.
We will try one of the defenses that's kind of come up in the challenges so far. It's not a defense that I necessarily play on a regular basis, but it's one that I teach attacks against. So hopefully I remember enough of the counter principles, since I usually play that side of the game in the teaching lines, that I'll put up a credible defense line here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I've pulled up the rule book. This might be an old document, but it says the student must be less than 26 years as an undergraduate student as of
Mhm.
September 1st of the academic year. So I would be under 26 years old and undergrad as of September 1st of the academic year.
Okay.
That would
That's
be
good.
true.
That's good.
So based on how I read the rules, I would be eligible to play.
Yeah, I think that's all right. And they give some leeway yet for the some additional leeway for undergrads as well. So but I think we'll be I think we should be okay there. But yeah, the main thing is I think as long as we have the enrollment, the winter enrollment, I think the winter enrollment, the fact that we can say you're enrolled, the registrar's office will be able to certify that you're enrolled as a full-time student in the December in
Yep.
the winter semester. I think that's the key, or fall semester.
Yeah, that's my understanding based on how I read the document. Now,
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
not be looking at the most up-to-date doc or whatever. But
Yeah, that part I don't think they changed too much in the rules, if I remember right. I don't think I got it. Let's just look around and see if I have it printed out. I got my Pan Am stuff packed away somewhere. But if you pulled it off the US Chess Federation website, that probably the collegiate page should have the most updated version. They just released they just updated it right before the last Pan Ams. So it had like an October, November date on it. Yeah. So, well, still got a few minutes left to go. Let's see what else we got going. So, any takers for carpooling with you on the May 1st tournament?
I haven't really poked them about that one yet.
Okay.
I mentioned that the tournament was happening and that I would like to go, and I would like
Yeah.
to see S&T make a big presence there.
Right.
I think that could be funny.
Yeah.
But
there's Dalen. Okay.
there seemed to be general interest, with the caveat that May 1st is the week before finals week. And
well,
that
I think
that's hard. But on the
right.
same hand, it's a Sunday, and I feel like we could pull it off. I'd be happy to drive a couple of guys down or up, I guess, because that's where Columbia is.
Right.
But on the same
Yeah.
hand, I can understand why people wouldn't want to go.
I think that's Halo, how are you doing, Rhett?
Hello, I'm doing good. I was just wanted to say that like I want to go like on the 1st May. I and Kevin are looking to
Right.
go there.
Okay. Well, and that you and Aaron can kind of get together on that. I think that might be a way to help you get there. I know Ben Zhu, who's joining us from Rockbridge, he played in the last one, so he and some of his teammates from the Rockbridge High School group may be there as well. But I know that Drew set that May 1st date because they have the same kind of issue at Mizzou where they're all starting to grind up at that point they're grinding up for finals push too. So
I'm sure Drew's busy. He just got engaged.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I knew that his girlfriend was from the Raleigh area. He's told me that before. So
yeah, I went to high school with her, and then he like over spring break he proposed. So I'm sure there's a lot of engagement stuff they've got to start working on.
Yeah, but let's get busy. All right, we got Kevin in on Zoom, and see who's missing off here. We got Rid in. There's there. Okay, Kevin. So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, All right, we got everyone. Everyone's in both locations, so we're looking good there. And good to have Kevin join us. As we work in black today, we'll see if Evan sneaks in here last second. I know Zach told me he was going to be really busy this semester, working on a couple of different project groups. So he wasn't sure he was going to be able to make it here during the spring semester. So, and I don't know, Evan may be in a similar boat. I know that one of the groups that Zachary's working with is on the something Dr. Insall has going as well. So, okay. All right. Okay, well, we're gonna make this run then. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost someone. What happened there? Someone fell out. Oh, Kevin? Did you mean to fall out? Kevin, it looked like it popped off here. So there you're back in. Okay. Okay. All righty. We are going to make this run. I'm playing black tonight. We'll see what I can do with this defense line. It will unveil itself fairly quickly. So. Working French today. Okay. All right, so I think probably the advanced pawn variation still stands against the Queen's Gambit formation. So we're going to use it. D4, we're still going to do that then against that as well. All right, F4. Okay, that's interesting. So with F4, would the advanced pawn still hold? Yeah, I think advanced pawn still holds. Okay, Kevin. All right. All right, Joel. I think the advanced pawn formation still holds. So we got a lot of nice looks here. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, it's very tempting, Rick, to play the bishop pin here, but I don't think that probably stands up with the C4 position. So, yes, Dalen. Okay. All right, I'm going to play knight f6 here on this one. Okay, advance forward. All right, let's take, if I go there, I can go there. I could play a little bit of a Sicilian twist to this, but let's try this. Okay. I'm gonna go stay with the knight of 6 idea. Okay. Exchange. Then that is the standard idea. Okay, knight of 3. Okay, that's an interesting look as well, Aaron.
Yeah, I like to avoid the bishop pin lines.
Yeah. Let's see here. You know what? I still think I like knight f6 here. Okay, knight c3. We have 4 mains. All right, Joel. Just a good basic 4-knight run. The reason I picked the French is because in the advanced pawn formation, usually, I mean, the general number 1 second move, whether you're e4 or d4, is to play the remaining center's pawn out. So if you're e4, the standard idea that I teach and that a lot of players use is to play d4 to partner with companion it, and same way with d4, you play e4 if it's a French. And the idea is that it gives you both theory lines available to you. You can play either e4 theory or d4 theory and still be able to stand up. in the counterattack, especially against the advanced pawn variation, which is the most common form that I see in test lines and my students have seen in national competition.
What's interesting is for us D4 players, if we just play C4, then we very often transition back into a Queen's Gambit declined.
That's true. That's true. And it could be that there's a different treatment that I need to look at for Queen's Gambit line. So maybe the advanced pawn is not going to be the variation. But
well, everything up to this point looks like theory on our board.
Okay. All right. Now, this has got a Queen's Gambit or King's Gambit look to it without the King's Gambit. Dalen, this is going to be a very interesting formation before it's done. I can just feel it. I'm going to try some aggression here. Okay, now. Okay, so play that way for now. And I have 3. Yeah, then, okay, I got to remember a line now. I think it was knight c3 is generally, no, knight f3 is right. Knight f3 is right. That's right. Now I'm supposed to balance with knight f6. Okay. Ben's board will be the classical exchange variation that my group, my scholastic group uses and trains against. Fiend Shadow. I'm going to castle before I get too committed here. Okay. All right. That I can live with. I want that square that way. So then the next step is going to be coming behind with bishop c5. All right. All right, Joel, I'm going to play a fallback position. Is that right? Yeah, fallback now. There's the pin. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Is that right? Just let that sit. No, that's not right to let that sit. I need to match Kevin's pin pressure there. Okay. All right, now we have okay, how are we going to go after Aaron's Fiend Shadow here? I'm going to go into the center. Let's try this. All right, then bishop d7. We'll see how well, if I can stay online then. I challenge the bishop check with the bishop response. I have to fall that bishop back. Yes, and queen capture here instead of the knight capture. All right, Rit, you're following. I'm going to use the same thing with you that I'm using with Kevin. We'll see where you all break between you. E3, developmental move. Okay, so if I play my knight into a challenge position, should be okay. It should be okay. We will see. B3, interesting. Very interesting. I think it's time to get this other knight engaged. Dalen, let's see here. E4. Now it's starting to look like something. This has some similarities to a knight c3 version here on Joel's board. And I believe the matching point here is going to be knight f6 here. Take. That makes sense. I'll take back. Castle. Right. You're still online, Ben. I think I'm pretty sure you're still online. Okay. Bishop takes there. That's what I thought you would do. Okay, well, Okay, let's see here. That's there and that's there. Let's go ahead and defend that pawn for a moment. So there's the pin. Well, let's get out of the pin for the moment. Now, the rook check brings knight e4. Okay. Let's see. So far, Ben, I think you're still on the training line. It certainly looks right. Okay. All right, Red. You broke it. Yeah, you and Kevin are in different lines now. So I'm going to play bishop e6 here. Bishop e2. That seems to make sense. I'm going to play. Yeah, let's play in. Now, let's see here. Kevin played bishop e2. It's a subtle castle option. I'm going to castle before I get too deep in this trade line there. I'm going to capture with a pawn. I've been testing pawn captures on those center bishop trades on the 6th and 3rd ranks just to hold the knights out of the center. Seem to be getting some good play in the test lines. Okay, that's there. I'm going to let that be. Where would that come back in at? I want to come back in here, I believe. Tonight. Yeah, try that. Knight f5. Bishop f4. That's a break, man. So generally in this position, the training line would have us use c4 instead of bishop f4 in order to use remove the defender theory that chess.com often identifies in its puzzle situations. And it leads to some very interesting trade lines. Okay, if you're going to play there, though, the bishop challenge changes. How does that change? It changes it. I think I could still challenge that. I'm going to challenge it, see what we can do. Now, castle, that's good. Makes sense to me, Dalen. All right, I got to get this knight back in the game here before it gets way out of place. Okay, we've got a lot of pressure building now on that pawn. It may be time for me to make another attack line here. So what happens? I don't want that queen or that bishop on that board. I just don't want it there. You gotta be careful how much I open this up, though. I'm not quite ready to do that yet. I'll let you have the pawn. I'll let you have the pawn. Okay, Joel, fiend shuttle to that side. My main concern with fiend shuttles is they just tend to be a little bit slow developing. And I feel like the opposite side can get some counterplay, especially now I don't have to worry about a pin line against my f6 knight. So I'm gonna bring this knight out, bring the other knight out, develop out. Okay, red. Okay, I'm going to do this in a different order than I normally would. I'm going to go ahead and take the knight. Bishop takes. Okay. do a pawn or queen, pawn or queen, pawn or queen. If you play c4. Still have the knight covering. I'm going to use the queen here, Ben. Okay. I'm going to break my pattern and use the queen instead of the pawn creep capture. Okay. I can live with that, Red. Okay. Double, so I will double my protection line.
Spent a long time thinking here,
Yeah.
but
I see it kind of with trade down there. Seems reasonable. I'm a tempo off on what I wanted to do, but I'm just gonna have to live with the fact that I'm off the tempo. I'll go ahead and take here. Knight doubles. Okay. Now I'm going to castle out of the spin. Normally we queenside castle in that line, but we're going to kingside castle in this formation. That's what is going to make sense. So I'm going to use the same kind of thing I did in one of the other games here and trade the knight off first. Normally I don't do that. I like to keep that knight outpost. I probably forgot something though. I just realized in the back head of my mind, I think I forgot a knight. Maybe not. In Kevin's position. All right, that's the pin. Joel's got a pin on me here. I've got to. Which way do I want to break it? I'm going to go ahead and break it with castle. Knight g5. You have cover. I want that knight out of there, though. I'm really not interested in that knight. But you do have the pawn. Am I really worried about the pawn? Maybe not. Okay, queen there. Okay, red. It's a double threat line. I think I'm going to let you have that file, Red. I want to see if I can survive it. Okay. Takes back there. That's expected. There, I was afraid I lost the knight there, but the pressure on the queen is what saved me. Okay. Kevin's game. All right, now knight's in. Okay. I want what square? Still don't have quite the square I want. Let's see here. Looks like we had a visitor for a minute. Dalen's game. That's a nice knight placement. I like that knight placement. It just worked out. I wasn't sure it was going to, but it does work out. Maybe a6 here. Okay. All right, Ben, but trade it off there. Queen takes. We said we were going to give that to you. So I'm going to play my knight to d7, c4. Let's use a Benoni approach. Something similar from the Benoni. Okay, trade. Okay. So far it's the rook. I'm going to challenge that rook. I'm going to challenge that rook, Ben. Bishop comes out. Yes, you do have that idea. I'm going to play here. Now, what can we do here? I still don't have the check where I want it. Okay, so we're gonna bring the bishop to the other diagonal. C and C. Takes, Joel's taking there. I'm going to open up that file. Okay. Bishop B5. Makes sense. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, I think. Take. Take. Drops a pawn. Okay. Or still drops a pawn. It drops a pawn in both scenarios, so I will castle. All right, now queenside castle. Well, that changes a lot. Okay. All right, Jalen, that changes a lot of theory all of a sudden. A lot of theory. Okay, rook, let's do rook FD1, FD8. Now, bishop takes. Okay, yeah, that went deeper than I thought it was going to. So I think I have to. Yeah, Aaron, I've got to balance that. That one's the rook. So, all right. Take your pawn, Red. Now, how do I leverage this? Trade, all right, Ben. You can triple. All right, let's think this through. Take. 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 Okay, Ben. I feel like I gotta count this just right. Take. But you don't have to take. Take. Or take. Huh, I can't do that yet. I don't want to give you time though. Okay. Give myself an escape valve on Ben's line. Okay. Joel, cleaning the castles now. All right, where's the counts? Let's get the counts right. Put a pin in place and see what I can build on there. So now come back this way. That's what I figured you were going to do. Can't do much about that, I don't think. Yep. Now, I want I hate to back this off. I'm going to though. Dalen, you just got enough pressure there. I'm gonna back it off. Check. Yeah, pulls me in then. All right, now where do we go from here? Kevin has that diagonal secured. I cannot use it. It's just not available to me. Reminds me of a line I used to run into years and years ago in St. Louis with the old timers. It's a really, really tricky line. Never really got a good grip on it. Let's play rook up. Knight takes, queen takes, down a rook. Yes, this did not go the way I expected it to. Bishop is there. Yep, we have that option. So I'm going to play a pawn interpose, right? Okay. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm just going to continue with my idea. Takes. Queen takes. Queen moves there. Right, queen moves there. That's what I wanted. I wanted that queen to move there. So, all right, red. Probably moved that a little bit too fast. Okay, we trade down, simplify, Kevin. Now, where's the timing here? I think I'm okay with this timing here. We'll find out. And knight outpost. That's a beautiful outpost knight. Very nice outpost knight, Kevin. I'm going to play my rook over. All right. Joel's traded out there. That's reasonable. I'll capture back with capture back. Yup. You can do that. You definitely can do that. I'm going to bring the queen back over. I don't care about your pawn on that side. It may come to bite me, but I'm going to try doing it without it. Okay, Ben, you up the rook. Oh my gosh, I just solved the mate. That's a very pretty idea. I almost missed it. He had a mate on D8 idea. Ooh. Nice. Okay, now. I'm okay with that move. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna let you have that knight outpost, Jalen, and I'm gonna try this. Try a bishop maneuver here. Okay. Gotta get my king out of here. Pin is broken. 1, 2. No, that's no good. I need really like my bishop back here. Okay. Let's try knight maneuver here. In Joel's game. Queen matches. I don't have to worry about bishop problem. I probably should trade queens here. By all rights, I probably should. Especially since it's red. But I want to trade on my terms. Okay. Nice outpost. That outpost is secure. Absolutely secure. Okay. Kevin's position. All right. Coming that way. I don't want to help you open that up just yet. So I'm going to pull the knight back just for a minute. Interesting. I guess it had to happen. Yes, it did. So I should feel like I should be able to lift here. I feel like I should be able to lift. But I think I need to lift this rook first. This is a very slow developing idea. But I think it'll be all right. Okay. Yep. Knight. Okay. Let's try this, Aaron. Or no, this is Joel's game. Joel, let's try this position. Dueling knight tactics. Ben has mating threat. But I got trapped. I got to keep my queen alive to make it work. Okay. That's where I thought Kevin was coming with it next. So I'm going to play. I hope I have time for this. We'll see.
It's
Now,
been another long time thinking, trying to figure out how I want to develop my pieces.
nothing wrong with thinks. Okay. Well, first, I think I want this knight to reposition. Okay. All right, Ben. Up. You found the way around my G-pawn. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. It doesn't matter where I go. This game is done. Nice game, Ben. Very nice game. Okay, Dalen, let's see what we can come up with here. So, Ben, our tradition is if you want to stick around till all the games are finished, then we can talk through ideas you have from your game that you want to discuss, or you want just or ideas you see in other person's games, or you can call it a night. It's whatever you want to do. In this case, we will play there before. All right, I am going to bring my rook over. Okay, I got that. That's what I wanted there. What am I going to do with it now? I think I'm going to play here. Okay, red. Queens are off the board. Do we dare trade some more? Probably that knight's going to be very problematic for me, so I'm going to trade it off. Okay, Kevin had that check. That sneak up on me. Oh my gosh. All right, this will be the second game to go down. Looks like we got a mate in 2. here for Kevin. And rook. So I'm going to play here first. Yep. I forgot all about that rook on the beat file. Nicely done, Kevin. Forgot all about it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to check scores. I think I should be down 2 games. Yep, I am. Kevin and Ben finished me off with some nice back rank ideas. So where was I at? It was on this one. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to play a queen here. Queen comes there. Yeah. Oh, that's where that's going. That's why. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't just drop my queen. I may have just dropped my queen. Okay. I was due to drop a queen yet. Okay, this didn't quite go the way I expected or envisioned. Okay. Okay. Here, chat. What have we got here? Simul. Okay, Ben. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Ben. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oops. Wonder if I did something I didn't mean to do there. Okay. Now. Okay, I'm gonna chance it. Rook is there. So you're positioning there. I want to see what direction you're gonna go here, Red. This is a directional question with that tactic. Yeah. Okay, now I believe I can play this. To be honest, I did not see that, Dalen, when I first played that trade. I expected the queen to come, but I did not see the fork. It just
I realized after I took with the queen, and I was just hoping you wouldn't see it.
you almost got away with it because it just kind of hit me at the very last second. All right, let's go. You know what? That's what I wanted you to do, Red. But okay, let's play a timing game here. Okay.
I think queen out like that might be the only move.
Yeah. It's a nice one. Thinking what I want to do here with this.
That queen and bishop are devastatingly strong.
They're doing a lot of work for me right now. No doubt about that. Okay, I think I know where that next move's coming. So I can accept that. Okay. King comes, queen comes off the board for now, but that does not mean I have to let my guard down because it's certainly easy enough to lose a game up a queen. Very, very doable to lose a game up a queen. All right. Okay, trades there. So I'm going to play rook here. Okay. Okay. I try this. I think it works. Doesn't it work? Oh, it absolutely does not work. Oh, crud. Joel, I almost messed that up. I almost walked into it. Oh my. Got overconfident in my tactic. So what's the next step here? Well, I think you're going to force me to. I gotta create pressure. Okay. Now, let's take that pawn for the moment. All right. Okay. Okay. How am I going to get that to move? In the Aaron's game, I'm trying to get a couple different pieces to move. Okay, red. Battle the rooks. Probably down to a battle of pawns. Okay. That helps. That helps, Joel. It was an interesting night. No, it does not help me. I thought it helped me, but it doesn't. It doesn't help me. Okay. I will give you the square. You can have the square. You can have the square. I thought I had it. It's not there. Okay. Rook is there. Take the pawn. Yeah, you're going to take the pawn. I'm going to play the rook here. Okay, so now I'm going to play a rook check here. Bishop takes. I'm going to take with the pawn, I think. Now, well, that's a good place to hide. That's an excellent place to hide. Excellent. So now where do I go with this? I think I need to get some air for my king. Okay. And I'll check with the queen. How do I go? Okay, I got to hold all three pawns somehow. Do I? Maybe I don't have to hold all three pawns. I think I do. Okay. Well, that was a nice game, Dalen. That was interesting. Probably I would recommend you go ahead and explore the matching d4, the match with e4, taking the center on d4 with the French. But it certainly was some interesting positions we got into in your game. Right. That's why that pawn's not going to survive. You're correct, Red. I did not think about that. All right, here we go. That pawn's gone. I'll accept that. Okay. How do I make this work? Because that's a legitimate move there. Joel's made here. Oh. Nope, that doesn't work either. Okay, I'm gonna have to try this square here. All right, Kevin's taking a look at that. Okay, where are we going with this? I am coming around the side. It's gonna be a race on pawns, I think. Oh no, I gotta secure that first. Okay. Bishop there, pawn there. If it takes, no.
It's a very messy position.
Yeah, but you're forcing me to react, which is never good. It's never good when I put myself in a position of having to react. That means you're controlling my line. So take, but then you have the fork line. The fork line is pretty interesting here. That does not work. I can't do that. And I can't do that. I'm gonna have to let you have that. I'm gonna have to let you have the A-pawn. If you want it. Well, so much for that idea. The Ritz board. Okay. Coming up. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Balin. All right. I will pull my king. That's not the choice. I have to pull. Oh, there's how I drop the bishop. Excellent. Nice tactic. Well, it was gonna. I guess I should have accepted the fork instead. Okay.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Yeah.
I would like to look at this position with you later because I think it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Let's see here. I want. All right. All right, Joel. Let's see what we can do here. It pins too. On top of everything else, it's a pin. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's play it this way. I gotta go for broke here, Red. Of course, you have that move. Of course, you have that move. Okay. Let's go here. Where are we at on the count? Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Get ahead of me on it. That's a good idea. This is true. You can do that. Okay. Well, this is not what I envisioned doing, but I'll do it this way. King is there. Take here. Queen drops back. So take. No, we don't do it that way. Okay. I think I do play this. Oops. No, need weather forecast. Okay. Rook is there. Okay. I think I'm gonna hide behind your pieces. Right? Is that my best option? Let's see here. If I go there. No, not yet. Not yet. It's too soon for that. Desperation. Let's try this. Okay. Not there. And not there. Where is this going? But that could happen. As long as I got that, it's not gonna happen though. Okay. So I think. Nope, it doesn't help me either. Try that. Okay. Where can I support that at? Where can I support it? Okay. All right. What can I do? Well, my queen needs to go rogue. And to go rogue, she's got to have room to move. So, yeah. Okay. That might hurt Joel. That might have been the move that hurts. Let's see. I think that could be a problem. I understand why you did it though. I do understand why you did it. Okay. Still might be okay. Might be okay. I forgot about your bishop hiding behind that knight. Okay, Red. Got to play here. Red. Okay, so that comes up. Yeah, I can play here now. Okay. Now the pieces get organized. Where's my queen? Got some guerrilla warfare ideas here. Gotta keep finding square holes. Right. Now, this is my only game. So, just gotta play the cards I have here, Rit. I would say 10 moves. Oh, but you're gonna do it in 2 moves. You're gonna do it in 2 moves. Yeah. Good game, Rit. Good game. Very good. Interesting. A lot of stuff to look at in these games, I think.
I didn't want to play it because it feels so passive. I think it's fine.
Well, I gotta take what I can get here. Where are we at? Is this the last game going?
Probably, yeah.
Nope, I got 2. I got another one. Joel and I are no. Who else is going? Yeah, Joel and I are still going. Okay. All right, we're still there.
I have to be
Rough.
careful. I could still lose this game. Shoot, queen h1. If I ever move my king to
Yeah.
f1, queen h1's mate.
Right. It's true. All right. I'm gonna want to look at. Oh man, I'm gonna pull my database up really quickly at the end when we're done here. Take a good look at what my move database has for the French response to the Queen's Gambit formation. So. All right, now I'm going to play this move. No, I still can't play it. Are you kidding me? I still can't play it. Okay. Where's the check? I can't go to the bottom rank, so I got to be careful about the diagonal attack here. All right. So now does that work? I want to try this, Joel. It may just be self-destructing my attack line here. But... So this is my idea. Rook plays. Yeah, that's the square. That is the square. I'm going to play believe I only have one choice, really. Well, that changes it. That's nice. That's nice. That solved the problem. Okay. Well, let's see. How do we want to make this look? I can be annoying a little bit for a little couple moves, maybe. Let's see. All right. That's actually a good solution, Joel. I like that solution you came up with. I like that.
Maybe this isn't as foolproof as I thought it was.
Well, I think I think I'm about to. Well, no, this is right. This is the tactic, right?
Yeah, because you take the pawn. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that in my calculations. Um,
Yeah. Only because you have that check tempo. Otherwise, I think it pretty
Mhm.
well steal the deal.
well, and I had calculated queen G4 followed by queen E4. So I thought I got it, but
Mm.
which one's faster? I don't know.
1, 2. 1, 2. 3. That's another good move, Joel. That's another good one. I gotta force some action though.
I think this is it.
I think so too. I was just counting when Joel's game come up. Let's see. Let's see if I can count this in my head right. 1, 2, 3. It's either 4 or 5 here.
So I probably don't have the most efficient way, but this is what I had calculated.
So far, that's what I was looking at too.
And then I had this move next.
Oh,
But like I don't know if it's the most efficient. It's just what I had calculated.
that certainly works. Let's see. In that case, I would go back here.
And then I said here,
Right.
and then one more step and then 1 block.
Right. Force block. Check and mate. Nicely done. Nice finish.
But I don't know if there's a faster. I had looked at queen or rook takes d6 and then giving you that spare move. I couldn't tell if there was
I
anything.
think it probably, what I was thinking about is just laddering the rook and queen, and but both using both rooks in the ladder. So, but it probably counts out the same, I think. Okay, yeah, that was forced for Joel. Unfortunately, I don't have a check tempo here. So Joel gets a breathing square here. And I'm gonna have to make use of it somehow. Press the square. All right. Place there, I do that. Place there, do that. Place there, I do that. Place there, do that. There. There. Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. Okay, so I'm gonna play queen check. And then queen check. And it's your choice. There you go. All right. Nice game, Joel. Nice. You made me work that ending. That word ending worked a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
Thank you.
All right. See here. All right. Let's see here. Let's go back. So I was gonna look real quick. Let me pull I'm gonna bring my move database. For those of you that haven't seen it, will be thoroughly unimpressed. Here's just a massive Excel spreadsheet. I wanted to look at that Queen's Gambit form. All right. Huh. I have never explored that. So I'm going to have to build that out. I'm absolutely going to have to build that out. See how that's supposed to be treated.
It's funny. Well, I think you basically just, the main thing that I see online is people transition into a Queen's Gambit declined, which is what you did in my game anyways.
Right. Yeah.
And then you're right in my repertoire, where I feel comfortable.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see there. Well, let's see. So
there was a neat thing or two in my game.
Yeah.
First, the tactic. I don't remember what move it is. I'd have to look now. But the pulling my bishop out. Let's see. Move 10 or 11.
Okay. Get close.
Yeah. So
Okay.
computer evaluated this position as a +2 on low depth, which is actually a little surprising. I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah.
But basically they say you can't defend the pawn, and then they'll have a big center. So white's better by a good margin. But if we go move the tactic forward, here So this hangs the rook. But the computer says that taking the rook isn't the best move. So
Really?
yeah, you take the pawn, threatening the rook. But the computer finds a way to force a queen trade. So if we move forward like one move or two for white,
Okay.
and then you played your knight move,
Right.
and then in this position, the computer prefers e4, and I actually spent a long time here looking at d5 to see if there was a way to, instead of taking the rook, take the knight with tempo and be up a
Right.
full piece instead of being up the exchange.
Right.
And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a way that made sense to me. But the computer says that e4 for white is the best move, because after 4 or 5 best moves, you get a queen trade off, and then you win the exchange. And having the queen off the board means there's like no counter play,
Right.
which I thought was neat. But okay, then there was something else after, and I stopped looking at the engine at this point,
Yeah.
but it got really intimidating here with I missed your queen move here, making
Yeah.
like a permanent threat of checkmate. And every move from here on out, I had to calculate whether G5 was any good. Because
Right.
G5, G4 is a terrible threat that I had to figure out. So
Yeah.
I actually should pull up the engine here and see.
I probably should have thought more about that. I guess I probably was a little bit nervous about having already dropped a rook down in here with the exchange. I probably was a little nervous about opening up the castle, but it probably would have been the best way to pry that open.
Funny. So after the computer is very ballsy. It doesn't. I thought Queen A4 was like the only move, and it doesn't think so. It thinks Queen A4 is best, and then your Knight E7 it says is best, which was good, meaning
Yeah.
that G5 was
Right.
never an option. But
Yeah.
I calculated G5 every time because I was like,
Sure.
if he gets G5 G4 off, I lose. So I have to make sure that G5 G4 doesn't work.
I wonder if the reason that it probably is holding is to just figuring you'll hold the diagonal with your queen. This probably is maybe what they're thinking. Way it's calculating it out, but
this is cool, yeah. And then actually this D5 push to deflect your bishop, it thinks is the best move.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the blunder of the rook happened the next turn, but
Right.
so it likes this, and then if we go 2 or 3 moves forward, it says here D5's the best move because it forces your bishop
Right.
off that diagonal or off of that E file, which means I can develop a rook with tempo, and then once I have a rook in the game, I have enough pieces to hopefully prevent your attack.
Yeah.
So that D5 was an important move. I thought D5 I was kind of proud of that move actually. I thought that was really cool. And then rook E8 blunders the rook, which is unfortunate.
It kind of tore it all back up. But I was all preoccupied with this, and then the E3.
Ooh, I hadn't seen this.
This is what I was worried about. That's why I hesitated and brought the rook over.
No, you're right. That's probably a better move. Because at this, what I had calculated was D5 and then bishop takes and then rook onto the D file.
Yeah.
I had completely missed this fork.
Yeah, it was that was bothersome to me.
Yeah,
so.
that's I hope I would have seen that. There's a good chance I wouldn't have, but yeah.
And it kind of fell apart from here. So
yeah, after that, every move came with tempo. So
right. So all right. Anyone else have some game thoughts they saw from either your games or other games that you wanted to take a look at and think about? Red, Kevin. Let's see who else is left here right now.
I just wanted.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, like, is anyone else going on May 1 to the tournament?
What now?
he's asking
is anyone?
if anyone else is planning to come to the Mizzou chess tournament on May 1st.
Oh, yeah.
I know we have our meeting, like our chess club meeting on Thursday this week.
Okay.
I'm planning on bringing it up then with the guys. So, if you're planning on going to that chess club meeting, we could probably exchange contact information there and see who all is planning on going.
Yeah.
Actually, like I won't be able to make to that meeting because I have exam on Thursday.
No, that's fine. I'll ask because I'll be there, and maybe I'll post in the group me.
I was
the
gonna
chess group me.
say,
Okay.
maybe your
Okay.
group chat might be the way to kind of coordinate a little bit there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I'll
Let's just see
contact
if
you.
there's any interest because I would love to get 4 or 5 guys down there.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
think
like
that would be
I would
really
love
fun.
to definitely go there.
And that would be a good one, Kevin, if it worked out for you. I mean, the last tournament they had, it's a game 45-second delay, 4 rounds, and then they followed up with a little blitz. What was it, 4 or 5 rounds, Aaron?
I didn't end up staying for the blitz because I was worried about the drive.
Right. Anyway, it's like 3-2, the 3-2 games. And I don't think very many people actually stayed for that section of it. But
It was actually well attended. So
but I know that we had the rating range was from unrated to, I think the top player was 1600, which was the defending US blind champion who actually lives in Colombia now.
And I think a few of those college kids were underrated for.
Oh yeah.
So there's some talent up there.
In fact, the gentleman that won it, I know that he's a long time casual player in the community.
Yeah, that was the vibe I got. Yeah.
And he's just gotten into the chance to play some tournaments and just see what it's like. So he's one that I expect his rating will continue building. And anyway, there would be some opportunities for rating game for folks in that kind of a tournament format, because it's a wide range of rating range. And I'm hoping some of my 800 to 1200 players, and hopefully Ben is able to show up, and that would, from the high school groups here in town, hopefully they'll be able to give a little more bulk to the tournament too. And but yeah, I think that's a great opportunity if y'all can go. It's definitely a close one, and price is right, being free. So we'll see how long Drew can keep that up. So, and I do know that we are looking into the Columbia, the Missouri State Open Championship is going to be, the adult Open Championship will be coming to Columbia next fall. I'm working with Thomas and Bob to try to find a location in Columbia for that. And so that'll be another opportunity next fall to get some really quality chess in, because you got to draw the top players from across the state. Not many of the college players, those college GMs, they usually don't play in that thing, but a lot of the strong adult expert players and guys that are just in the regular Missouri circuit pop in from both St. Louis and Kansas City. A lot of times Luther will come in from Kansas City, and every now and then Michael Brooks will pop his head over for that tournament. And Michael Brooks was probably the highest rated. Well, I don't think there's any question. He's the highest rated Missouri native player, Missouri born player that in history. For us, he at one point was 25th in the world when he was competing full time in Europe. And but he basically is the Westport Chess Club in Kansas City. And that's his primary haunt anymore for the last couple of decades, but every now and then he pops out to a tournament. So you never know, he might get drawn into it. But um, that anyway, that will be an opportunity that we'll kind of keep an eye out for in case, because it usually happens it's in late September, early October, because they have to have the MCA membership meeting at that time, and that's when it's dictated by bylaws. So that might be an early semester rating tournament that folks can get a good opportunity to get 5 long games in. It's a Saturday, Sunday event. So, but yeah, definitely as many of you can get into that Sunday tournament, that May 1st tournament, I think that would be great. I won't be playing in that one. I'll be teaching at that one. If he'd picked Saturday, I might have done it, but Sunday's too packed for me. So
Yeah, that's fair.
all right. Where are we at? So any other games that we want to look at here? Anyone have any questions from their games? Now I think Joel, you played an E4 line, if I remember right.
I actually did D4.
You did do D4,
but-
so you were in the same group, but you played a knight F3 formation.
I
So
did, yeah. I was wondering, let's see, move, what was it? Sorry.
it's all right.
On the move, because I was considering for a while, because like in the game we played last week, I know that I delayed castling for much too long.
Yeah.
And so on move 10, the move that I castled, because I noticed like later in the game, my knight on C3 was pretty much just stuck there and
Right.
couldn't really do anything for the rest of the game. I was wondering if you thought I know there's a ton other in this, but if you thought probably the move that I castled, that's when that knight should have moved, and then I would have been able to castle later with now that I mean the knight's defending the square or the square over there and stuff, or is there something that I'm not seeing that
Well, I
could
think that
injure? I mean, it just wasn't a great position.
yeah, I
because of
think that I think the night movement can happen I don't have a problem with your castle move here. I think that the castle move was fine. You're
Okay.
right that and this is what I see in my personal opinion, is what I see as a weakness of fiend shuttle formations, is that as long as your opponent can lock that center up, you take all those pieces away out of the game. It's like
Yeah,
playing with your hand behind your back.
Okay.
And so that's, I think, then you basically have to take it out. So, I mean, I think what you do is once you get into this position, probably you have to just wait an opportunity to get it out of the way. And maybe you play something like this, knight A4,
Okay.
to challenge my bishop, which is also kind of isolated. Even though it's really isolated, it's not hurting you any right now, but it is kind of there. But the main thing is, even if you don't take it, it gives you the chance to play C4 here.
Okay.
Challenging my
sense.
pawn that's holding the whole center together.
Mhm.
Because once that pawn falls, I think you can open the center up with your fiend shuttle.
Yeah.
But it comes down to some timing ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
Watching for the opportunity to either move to A4 to get some movement, or to get to E2. You just got to be careful with E2, because I would be willing, someone like me would be willing to trade that down, and just to get that open center. So open center and center.
I was definitely keeping an eye on that, or like after you made that bishop move, I would.
And
Oh
that was
crap! I need to I don't want my queen pin, but I also really want something to be able to take that back that isn't my pawn that's in front of my king.
Right, and I think that's the queen D3 maneuver is exactly how you handle that problem. I think that was right. Now, once you have queen D3, now this is interesting, that once I started messing around with this, I fully expected knight E2 here.
Okay.
That's when I thought your knight.
That makes sense. I think I got a little too wide-eyed on I'm attacking both the bishop and pawn, and I don't think I spent enough time on that, seeing what the weaknesses in my position were, but that's also a really good point that would have been a great time to
Yeah.
get that knight out of that poor position.
Hmm. And it
Okay.
also would strengthen your defense with
Mhm.
my knight coming in too.
For
So
sure. Yeah,
yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
If you
Yeah.
care for my 2 cents,
Mhm.
Sure.
I find his bishop as very sad. The black bishop on b6, on b6, and I guess on b2, they're both kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
I
I guess
guess.
they cancel
Yeah.
each other out. But here in like another 10 moves, you start pushing all the pawns in front of your king, and
Mhm.
that is scary. You got to be very confident that you are winning some material after that, because otherwise you get what happened to you, where
Yeah.
they have all the open lines and you have all the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We got this into this situation where,
Mhm.
and I was just I was trying to figure out the tempo. If your rook wasn't there, things would have been much easier for me. But that
Yeah.
rook move saved you and gave you about 10 moves.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was,
I was looking at that position for a while as well. I mean, I knew it wasn't great there, but I saw how big of a threat or you were putting onto the E2 square that
yeah,
I had to take a turn to add an extra defense to it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, my initial reasoning, because I know even when when I put the bishop on B2, you mentioned again
Yeah.
how you didn't really like that,
Yeah.
and my reasoning at the time was I saw I you know I I know now that wasn't the greatest idea, but
Well,
that it just seemed like there was a ton of pressure on
right.
the d4 pawn. And so
Uh-huh.
I was going to try to put that there and then move the knight out of the way at one point, because I knew that my knight was also going to get attacked, whether or not it came from a like trade on e4 resulting in a pawn there, or that the bishop that did eventually come to g4. I realized that I was going to be losing the defense of that pawn, but
Yeah.
again, that you made a really good point on
Yeah.
like later into it when I should have moved that knight.
Yeah. Let's look back at that point. I understand what you're saying. One thing, I think the more common way to handle this, if you're really worried about this in the mobility,
Yeah.
I think bishop e3
Okay.
holds a lot better.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a real big problem here, to be honest. I
Okay.
know that in some of my lines, this is a very familiar line to me, as far as, except for the fact that b2 and except for the fact that B pawn's moved. If we didn't have that B pawn out there,
Mhm.
if we didn't have the B pawn, let's see. Yeah, if we without the B pawn, we normally would play. Let me get to the right square. That's not the right square. Normally, this would be a counter pin to
Yeah.
the bishop coming to b4.
Okay.
A lot of times, you would just see this,
Mhm.
see this play, and get this matchup like, and get the
Okay.
counter play that way.
Mhm.
And then usually what happens is this bishop trades down,
Yep.
this bishop trades down, queen comes through, and the center then comes out. And a lot of times this pawn is exactly where you had it down here on e4. And then it's a threat line. I have one line that my d4 players, my d4 kids play. They have this e4 formation sitting here, and it is constantly irritating to them that the study line we use never plays the e5 move and lets them attack the queen. It always the engine, the database project always came up with one move better each time.
Yeah.
But I've always told them that if they ever just got frustrated and decided to go ahead and push that pawn up there, I think it stands up fine because it locks that center so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think there was a lot of good stuff. I just think you got probably more occupied with this bishop than you needed to.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and
That
the
makes
main
sense.
line, the main line after a3 is for the bishop to take. The bishop sits there and stays pinned until you tell it you prompt it to do something.
Mhm.
And then it will either run away or it will take the knight, but 9 times out of 10, it'll take the knight.
Yeah,
So, and it'll
Yeah.
damage your structure and will say, your damage structure is worth more than the bishop pair.
yeah,
I couldn't help myself. I turned on the engine.
yeah.
But I wanted to mention it real quick that in the position where you played F3 and you push, so that's move 16, computer evaluates the position at 1.7, 2.0, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Basically, as far as I'm concerned, equal enough, right?
Yeah.
From my skill level. The moment you play F3, it's negative 6.5. And then like the
Dang.
top 3 lines are -6. So like there's a
Wow.
lot of winning ideas after
Okay.
F3.
Mhm.
Ben Feingold says never to play F3.
Yeah.
And just
Well,
that pushing the
okay.
pawns in front of your king is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Ben breaks his own rule too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He knows when he's allowed to.
Yeah. But I always tell my students, because the chess kids thing really pushed that whole thing when it came online with the scholastic players about never move the F pawn, never move the F pawn. Like, that's all fine and good before you castle, but after you castle, the F pawn can be a very dangerous weapon if it has a rook behind it. And I think that's the key with F pawn movement, is you need to have a rook behind it. I
Okay.
think that's something that people give up when they make the rook shifts to the E file. And
Mhm.
you see that a lot in theory and in modern open lines, is that they will make that rook shift almost like out of habit to the
No, you're
E1
right.
gate. And I think that I like to just leave that rook sitting on the F file and let that pawn become a bulldozer just blowing through there.
Mhm.
Yep. And
Yeah.
in the Benoni, F4 is a very common move, but it is supported with the rook behind.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. In this,
Um,
or like, before that, when I moved the rook there, with the exact position we were in, I think I needed to move that rook there.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
But
yeah, you're
computer,
right.
I
It
definitely
paid
agree
off.
that F3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely paid off because it kept the pressure. It kept my knight from moving.
Yeah.
And that was
Well-
the key. And maybe, I don't know. I was going to sit here and say that maybe if when I play my rook over,
Mhm.
and what might have been really scary for me might have been G3.
Well, I looked at that, but I'm pretty sure
Definitely.
after
The check tempo.
yes, I'm pretty
Let's
sure
see.
that
I think you can survive that with King F1.
King F1. Okay.
And then I've
It's-
got to get my bishop, my queen out of trouble. I mean, I don't know. I think G3 gives you a little bit more fundamental play
Okay. Yeah.
than F3 does in the position.
Maybe I was thinking about
I mean, a lot of times
I-
people
I
get
was-
nervous about the bishop slide and that empty three and settle hole, but
yeah.
sometimes you just got to do it. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think I was looking, or we were in the same general position for a while after
Right.
that point, so I may have been looking at some other things making me think that
Yeah.
and I was thinking about those when I said that about G3.
Sure.
I forget,
Okay.
but that's a good
Because you
point. I guess I
followed it
didn't
up.
look at everything.
Well, none of us ever do.
Yeah, hard to.
yeah, just to, in very specifically tough situations like this, I like to check the engine because it's like, okay, I know what I did. What I did didn't
Mhm.
work. And what should I have done?
Yeah.
Engine likes queen G3, which targets the bishop on G4.
Let's look at that. Okay. It's Queen
Uh,
G3 here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every other move is like equal or better for black.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but like you have 2 pieces attacking the
Right.
bishop, and then
So that would surely that. Well, it probably
Okay.
would end up being. You're going to drop the bishop for a pawn down the road here.
and
Essentially.
that's what it evaluates his position 1.7 or so.
Yeah.
It goes ahead and if you care, the engine recommendation is knight h5.
Knight
Um,
h5. Yeah.
But that will force a queen trade when you do that.
Right. Right.
Which I don't feel like is very natural.
Yeah, I was kind of liking that 5 myself, but and let it come
Interesting.
and follow with
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
this diagonal.
And
So,
what's nice about this move, and I don't know what the engine says, but what's nice about this is it almost definitely guarantees your other rook is in play,
right.
which
Yeah.
is neat. I wonder if you can move your knight now. Knight to d7 maybe? Threatens the rook. I don't know.
I think if that happens, then you have to play tempo check.
Which I think, other rook takes.
Yeah. And then you have to play it this way with the rook.
Yeah.
Drop it away.
And at the very least, you've stemmed the
Yeah.
bleeding. Maybe this works,
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like this doesn't look so bad. I think I
No.
take your bishop
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
say,
Then you don't have to worry about that. Then your knight can activate
Yeah.
I don't know.
because if the knight takes here, pawn takes, knight comes here, you can play that whole C pawn thing and then get the knight rolling again.
Mm,
Or you can even, heck, you don't even have to do knight e4, dude. We can just play here and maybe activate it that way. Or there's lots of ways going here. I think because
Yeah,
of the problems here that build up with Queen G3. I think that knight is going to be active now. Maybe
looking at
knight e2.
Yeah, looking at the engine, it basically says there's tactics flying all over the place. It's like H4 is playable. It's
Yeah.
This is playable.
Right.
That's playable. It likes knight C or bishop C1, pinning the knight to the queen.
Oh, that would be nice too.
It's got all of these tactical ideas, and so
Yeah.
it's like it's really unclear. Like from a human playing, you'd lose both
Yeah.
colors because there's just too much tactics flying around. But
Yeah.
the engine thinks it's better for white.
All right.
But I think
Okay.
it's really hard to play as a human.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. With the whole
But-
queen G3 thing back on move 14, when I did move my queen to E3, I was
Yeah.
at that point, I was pretty much looking between, do I put it on E3? Do I put it on G3?
Now there you could not put it on G3. That was definitely a good choice not to put it on G3. And the problem with Queen G3 here, well, I guess actually it holds because your knight's still covering.
Knight's covering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knight's
And so
covering.
I
So-
originally looked, or when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, I go there, the knight forks, the king and queen
Right.
take back, bishop takes, and then I would move my rook, which now thinking about it is probably better. At the time I was thinking, oh, there's a bunch of threats to the E2 square. I better, when I move my queen, I better make sure that the queen's also defending that. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that
Actually,
E3
it
could have worked
could have
fairly
worked.
well.
This looks
Looks
pretty
better.
nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if the fork makes sense though. If you move here and then you don't fork.
I mean, I guess it's possible. And I play the bishop here to threat the rook.
Wow.
And,
Engine likes this. Engine likes this queen G3 instead.
yeah.
And then it actually does think that taking the fork is the best option.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I figured because otherwise you're like the queen and knight are combining to attack like both of those
wait.
pieces. But,
Yeah.
Well, I was
That's
thinking
why. That's
Or are
why
you talking
I
about
dropped the
something else?
knight here. Yeah.
I was thinking bringing the queen up like we had in the previous position where it was roughly equal. But
Mhm.
we're back into those like there's 18 million tactics and your queen could get trapped and the rooks
Yeah.
can do stuff and the
Yeah.
bishop can pin and it just gets really ugly really quickly.
Yeah.
So it was a
All right.
wild
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So Okay, let's see.
This
Let's
emerged from a D4 opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Looks
it
like
did.
some E4 nonsense to me.
All right, let's go back and really Kevin and Rit had some interesting ideas going here. Let's look at Kevin's because it was very quick.
I
So,
have some homework that I still have that's
Okay.
due in about 50 minutes, so I think I'm
Sure.
gonna hop off and do that. But
Sounds
Excellent.
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very
Yeah.
much for doing this and telling me
Yeah.
all those things.
So that's no, I'm glad you can participate. And I was
Yeah.
telling Aaron at first before y'all got on that I made some progress today with the issues up here in Columbia, but I just don't know. We'll have to see what comes with the rest of the week, whether I make enough progress to be able to come to campus next week or next Monday or not. But I will keep y'all updated on that. So
Sounds good. Thank you again. Bye.
yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess it's just you and me here.
Okay.
I thought this was kind of an interesting idea. Kevin always comes up with these nice tactical ideas. That's one thing that really is his strength is
I was surprised to see you move your bishop back. That didn't feel. I saw you do it in the live game. I didn't think that made sense to
yeah.
move the bishop back and forth.
Where
Um,
was I at here?
Yeah,
Okay.
just I would have been like, oh, bishop g5, no big deal. But you seem to think that this was really
Well,
bad for you.
I've had some bad luck with this. So I'm a little jaded in this position right now. I probably did a little bit overreact, but
I would
Rit
think
and I have
just
had Kevin and Rit and I have had a lot of different battles around this whole concept in a lot of different formations. And so I always try something a little different each time. If you look at Kevin's game, basically they both played. They're both playing exactly the same game up to this point. It was this was Kevin's. Rit went a different direction with this whole thing when
yeah.
I
So
challenged. So
I just looked up the database, and the c6 is what the master and above play. They turn into a semi-Slav, which is what I thought you would
yeah,
play too.
yeah.
I was surprised when you didn't.
I'm not a yeah. I've never been real fond of those formations. Comfortable
No,
my
that's fine.
personal thing. So that's why I think the main reason why I was looking at E7 was because I wanted to get the knight outpost idea. And I thought it looked intriguing how the trading was going to come down. And it basically did what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, just something that caught my eye. I happened to
yeah.
glance over at this game.
Yeah.
Between minutes.
So
Woody takes the pawn. Ooh.
yeah. Now I just missed his rook maneuver. When he gets down to it, I
Lock
thought it was
everything
going to be
up.
okay. This is something I used to face from a lot of the Queen's Gambit players and old gold timers back in the 80s and 90s. For me, a lot of the established players used to use this lockup system.
Put all of your pawns on dark squares when you don't have a dark bishop.
Right. So I thought this rook idea it just ended up being a little bit too slow.
Wow. I would not have traded my bishop there. My light squared bishop, I would have left that on the board.
Kevin likes to take a lot of dares here. This is not uncomfortable. This is not uncomfortable for his style of play.
Yeah.
I probably because he played F4 was what kind of drew me in here with this.
Prevents mate.
Yeah. Now
I thought you might play.
I lost track of the game right here because I got focused on how I was going to break through, and I forgot about what he was doing on the backside.
I thought you might play rook to G6 in one of these positions and try to sack the rook for the knight, but then have attacking lines. Of course, having his queen there seems
right, and that's what kind of kept me from doing it. It was just.
I wonder if G.
I missed this period. I need to play. Much as I wanted to play the rook to h6, I needed to play just h6 period here and just
So
done with
if,
it.
does G4 work at all here? I'd have to calculate G4 before I would play the pawn move.
This one probably. Let's see.
Yeah,
'cause
I
the
figure
knight
you'll
is-
take with the
Yeah,
pawn. That's what and then I probably take with my pawn,
yeah,
and then you checkmate me on H2.
yeah, right.
I don't do that.
So,
Okay, so yeah, G4 probably doesn't work if that's the case.
yeah,
I mean, there, you can take
that's
with the
the
knight or the
risk.
queen or something, but it still
Yeah.
probably doesn't work.
See if you take with the knight.
You probably take with the bishop, hoping that
Bishop,
I'll take with the
right.
pawn.
Yeah,
And then if I take with the queen, you put your rook on G6.
right. Yeah, I just
So none of
tried
this works.
draw the side pin. Yeah, yeah. C6 4 and G4 ends up being just a little bit too aggressive. So,
Because I'm
especially-
sitting there looking at that rook and thinking it's trapped.
yeah.
There's too many tactical defenses.
Mhm.
So no, I agree.
Uh,
H6.
It was interesting idea that he came up with. So let's see in Ritz game. We were going. We got to that similar idea.
Same little maneuver.
That's he turned down the trade. And so then I just went back and challenged because that's what I'm used to doing historically. Is I'm all about challenging these dark bishops in this position. So
Yeah, we're in a London system. It's a weird one, but it's where we're
Yeah.
at. I would
Yeah.
have played bishop to G3 here because that's the common London move.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
but it doesn't work, does it? Because of the knight. Ooh, maybe I would have
But-
taken the knight instead.
Yeah. Well, I think with tempo you could probably do that. Yeah. You take the knight and then play bishop G3 sort of thing.
Well, once your
Uh,
pawn takes, I have to interpose with my knight.
Right. Right. So
Hmm.
but here I took with the C pawn, but I still think that was probably okay. But
I think it's okay. I think queen takes is very common in
Yeah.
all those London positions.
so we got
Because then you don't have double D pawns.
yeah, and I decided to give him that B pawn here. And just to do it. Now I didn't think about the bishop pin, and that kind of got me in a little trouble. Castle out
you're
of that.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then take back, and then he found that pawn there. So
Now you're
now
down 2 pawns.
probably should have played bishop e6. It could be that I should have brought rook over now and brought the queen up this way, bishop up that way.
I wouldn't
'Cause-
be opposed to rook b8 so that she can try to play bishop b5.
yeah, to
If you can
control.
catch him before he castles, you
Right.
might be able to keep him stuck in the center.
Yeah. Yep. It's a possibility too. But
But yeah, a rook move makes a lot of sense to me.
yeah. So we had this. And
Didn't take the pawn there.
no, I didn't take the pawn. I probably should have. That came back to bite me. But I thought I wanted, once he castled, I wanted to be aggressively coming, shifting my forces. But this was a nice move. He just keeps challenging. Rit's fearless. Rit's very fearless, and that's one of his good tactical qualities.
Yeah,
as
well,
a player.
if he can trade everything off, he's on a winning
Yeah.
king and pawn end game. So
Right. So, it's a wonder he didn't get the upset award, but he just didn't get the right pairings because of where his board position was. Kevin had the better board position for getting the better upset pairings. So at the Pan Ams, but Rit could easily have been challenging for that. It was going to be one of the two of them. I knew it was when we went in. So I thought I could make this work when I traded that down, but maybe I
bishops are so
should.
strong.
I know, but
All of his pawns
Like-
are on dark squares. I don't know. I think it's a reasonable decision, but
the reason I was doing it is because I've had good luck with this, but my rook was just too slow coming over.
yeah, one of your rooks goes there. He defends probably with
I-
his F rook.
Yeah, I probably should have just went straight to,
I think instead of
Take-
AC8, I might have played FC8
yeah. Yeah.
with
Um,
the intention to put my A rook on the B file.
yeah, I probably get back to the right squares here. This is really this was my alternative idea with F pawn push and work this wall against him.
Mhm. No, I
So-
see that.
I probably should have stayed with what I normally do when I do that sort of thing. I just got a little freaked out by that pawn later. So I think I let that bug me a little more than I needed to. But anyway, Red always has some interesting ideas.
Mhm.
And I wonder if he broke off just because I mentioned that he and Kevin were because you could almost say that one of them was following the other one.
That's funny.
But I don't think that was the case. They just have very similar playing styles.
Yeah, and playing the same opening theory kind
Yeah.
of makes sense.
So,
All
all right.
wonder
Mhm.
at what point. So I was looking at move 13 in Ritz game.
Yeah.
If you could have played, he plays bishop b5.
Right.
If you couldn't, I was looking at rook to b8.
I thought about that. I did think about that.
I don't see exactly what he does to stop it. I guess if he takes
I think he takes the tempo.
and then you take with your bishop,
All right.
and then he still gets the pawn.
Mhm. And-
Well, that pawn, I suppose.
oh, I guess he could take the D pawn too. Yes, you're right.
Well,
The
if he takes the A pawn, you can keep him from castling,
You're right.
and you might be able to keep him from castling anyways.
Yeah. Now,
And
if
you
I play here, I think this comes and takes care of that problem.
Check. Queen A8 5 check.
Yeah. That's true. Then knight has to fall back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I have a soft pin on my queen.
Yep.
With the bishop and the pawns attacking. So
Yeah. I don't think it works. I think you're right.
because I think then if I have to come in, I gotta drop something and he just castles out of it. So
Ooh, if he castles out of it, your knight and bishop are both hanging. The knight and bishop
Yeah.
both hang. Yeah, and you're gonna be stuck in the center because he's gonna take your D6 pawn, and then you won't be able to castle.
yeah,
Oh, that probably doesn't work.
yeah. So yes, it's interesting. But I did look at that idea. I considered it. But it got it was just unnerving to me where I
Yeah, and
thought
you're right. You start dropping either the A pawn or your double D pawn, and either
Yeah.
way, you're just gonna start losing a bunch of pawns.
yeah.
That's no fun. Cool.
So
Tough games.
yeah, no, well, that's what helps us be ready. I think that we're continually getting stronger as a group, and I think that I'm really looking forward to the possibilities on the next Pan Am cycle. So everyone, especially with everyone that we've got coming, that we have in the group this spring that's
Mhm.
contributing. I thought I might. It was interesting on Ben's because, and this is going to happen when one of my high school students comes in here. You're going to get a chance to see my line and see the study line that I build. And in this one, we have the exchange variation. Now, it's interesting that this is where the E4 D4 theory comes into play, because the alternative that I feel that I've determined is equal, and I basically teach it both directions. I just let my students decide which one they want to use. instead of the exchange, the idea is to use knight c3, and it goes into a 4 knights variation. And that's what happens. That's when we get into that situation where the bishop's dual pin, and then this takes this queen, and this is that situation where that e5 pawn just hangs over over black for a long time. And in fact, in the main line, it never plays. It just sits there waiting for an opportunity and ends up opening up the e-files when it does. But my students so want to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It feels very natural to play e5, and I thought I know there's a mainline theory on the advanced French. I just don't know it because I don't play e4 or the French defense.
So, but anyway, so Ben chooses the exchange here, and he played down everything. Now, what's interesting about this is a lot of times the interesting thing I find online is if I play this check, more often than not, I'm going to face c6 here. Then I can just drop down into bishop b3, and I have the 3 diagonal concept that I can use in attacking. If you get the knight to displace, this becomes a very strong tactical idea against the king side. So, and it appears in both black and white theory in opening positions, and lots of openings.
And by inducing the c6 pawn, you've made his development awkward.
Now it becomes a Carol Khan formation.
Yeah.
So
not a fan of any of that.
Yeah.
not my theory.
So when this trade happens, the queen advances. This rook, the timing, the tempo with the rook castle is really interesting because you are two moves away from castling on the black side of it. So you got to play catch up, and the rook check quickly pulls the knight into the front. Now, this is where Ben decided to break the line. He decided to go for bishop f4 here. The line would have played c4 here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With remove the defender idea. And so with the queenside castle, Drake draws the queen up. Knight plays the fork. Knight has to trade.
Probably takes, yeah. All
Then
this pretty
bishop
normal.
d6 tries to hold up, and then queen to b3. Continuing to put pressure on the queen side and forcing a queen trade line idea. It's a very interesting, very aggressive pressure filled way to play the counterplay against the French advanced pawn. So, but his bishop f4 move worked pretty good too. I'm going to have to, if he's going to mess around with that, I'm going to have to find a new, I'm going to have to explore the counter for that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
cool.
Yeah. Well, I think I need to probably call it now.
Yeah,
so,
11:30 is pretty late for me too. So
right.
Good
Well,
night. I appreciate your help. This is always good for me and helps me with my chess. So
it looks like Ben's popped in too. I thought he'd left. Oh, maybe he just stayed signed in. I bet he just stayed signed in.
yeah, playing his own personal games.
Well, he probably just didn't. He's probably working on his computer and just stayed signed into LiChess while he was doing his math team work. So, okay, well, yeah, like I say, I'll kind of keep you all updated on where I'm going to be next Monday, whether I'm going to be online or out on campus. So,
cool. Thanks.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Yeah.